We will end inflation and make America affordable again. We're going to get the prices down. We have to get them down. It's too much. Groceries, cars, everything. We're going to get the prices down.
$6.15 fucking cents for a half a pound of Greek hot sweet peppers. Is this what you voted for? The highest fucking food cost I've ever seen in my entire life?
$17.49 for one can of coffee in America. This used to be $11.99 a month and a half ago. Yeah.
How much I spent for just 29 items. I had to use my credit card because I couldn't afford it. I'm a single mom. Come on, people. Trump, everybody, lower the grocery bills. We gotta eat. We gotta feed our kids. Come on, really take this seriously. Trump, the administration, anybody listening, please lower the grocery bills. We can hardly afford this stuff anymore.
These grocery prices are killing me. I literally just spent over $300 for a family of 4. Honestly, I hardly even got enough to probably fix dinner all week for us. And it's not like I got a bunch of extra things. This is getting ridiculous. The prices are ridiculous. And of course, I'm trying to eat cleaner. My son is dairy free, so that does add to some of the cost. But I've been making a lot of things homemade with his oat milk and avoiding dairy that way. But his plant-based cheese is pretty expensive. But these prices, guys, like, I'm struggling, and I know other people are struggling. My husband and I both have full-time jobs, and it is a struggle when I go to the grocery store. I'm looking for coupons. I use Ibotta. I use Fetch. I do as much as I can to get money back. So if you've got some money-saving tricks, I would love to know about them, because this girl needs some help when it comes to the grocery shopping.
Greetings, my lovely people, and welcome back to my channel. So across America, MAGA is furious because they're now realizing that things aren't as they were promised. Grocery prices have skyrocketed to the highest levels they've ever seen. Things like eggs, milk, bread, the basics, they have doubled or even tripled. So Trump promised to bring down food, gas prices, grocery prices. He promised to make life affordable again for the working Americans. But here we are in 2025. For millions of families, the cost of living is breaking their backs. So let's get to see the reactions. Then we come back with commentary. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing so you never miss any update from my videos. Let's dive into it.
Here's the real question. If millions of families are going into debt just to eat, what does that say about the true health of the U.S. economy? A new survey shows that about a quarter of Americans are using buy now, pay later apps like Klarna, Affirm, and Afterpay just to buy groceries. We are not talking about sneakers and vacations. We're talking about milk, eggs, and pasta on a payment plan. And that number is climbing fast, which means more and more people literally can't afford food up front anymore. Let's be honest. Wall Street might look fine, but Main Street is starving. Call me crazy, but I would love to live in a society where moms don't have to worry about feeding their children, where dads don't have to work 10 jobs to make sure that Eggos can go in the toaster in the morning. That would be my ideal society, but I know I'm a little crazy.
The price for 1 pound of ground beef is now more than the federal minimum wage, guys. How crazy is this? And how far are they going to let these grocery prices get before they realize that regular people can just not afford this crap? Right now, let's do a comparison. Let's use a couple big chains at where I live. I'm on the West Coast. So we've got Albertsons, we've got Vons, we've got Stater Brothers, which I think is kind of like a West Coast thing. All of those are about twice the price of an Aldi, a Walmart, a Winco, a Safeco, or a Heb, or a Food for Less if you have that. So I will tell you that of all the places that I'm shopping right now, Aldi happens to be my favorite. And no, they don't have everything. And Aldi is like the great value brand at Walmart. That's all they have in the whole store is the Aldi brand. So There's not as much selection, but I like a lot of the stuff that they have there. So I did a price comparison out here. Stater Brothers, which is down the street from me, has amazing butcher department. The meat department is great. So I went and bought my weekly groceries there, $240. Next week, compared it, same level of groceries, $117 at Aldi. So it's completely insane. I think these big chains like Albertsons, Vons, Staters are going to have major financial problems in the future because you can't keep charging people double for what they can literally get across the street and have people keep paying it. Yes, in wealthy neighborhoods, people are going to pay that. Yeah, you're still going to have them do fine in those areas. But for the majority of Americans, if they have any kind of a choice where they can drive up to a half an hour, they're not buying these crazy expensive grocery store brands anymore. Let me know, like, where are you going that's like really affordable groceries that you actually find like it's clean enough and decent enough that you can go there on a regular basis and you actually like it? Because I don't know how these chains think they're going to survive, but they've gone nuts with how much they're charging people.
Living in America right now feels like a punishment. You wake up already behind, you go to work just to stay broke, and you watch the cost of everything rise while your paycheck doesn't move an inch. Groceries are a luxury, rent is robbery, healthcare is a joke, and somehow we're the ones blamed for not budgeting better. People are working 2-3 jobs and still choosing between food or gas. Families are crammed into apartments because buying a house became a fantasy. You can't afford to get sick. You can't afford to rest. You can't afford to exist. But they keep telling us the economy's strong. Strong for who? Because it sure as hell isn't the people doing the work. We're out here treading water while billionaires build rockets, politicians trade stocks, and corporations raise prices just because they can. We were promised opportunity, we got survival. And what makes this worse is watching people blame themselves. Like somehow you failed because you can't afford a one-bedroom anymore. Like you didn't do enough, when the truth is the math just stopped adding up years ago. They told us to work harder, but never told us they'd change the finish line. This isn't a country full of lazy people. It's a country full of exhausted ones. Simple as that.
$9 for some damn pizza sauce. $10 for a small pack of Starbucks coffee. Oh my God. Got a dang sweet treat for the dog. $20. Sweet treat for the dog. Sorry. $20. I guess you're gonna have to just find me fucking stinking. Cause look at that. Clearance. $8.39. I'm telling you right now. We're going to be paying $100,000 for a loaf of bread before this administration is over. The same administration that told us that on day one energy prices would come down, that the war in the Ukraine would be over, that the price of gas and food and it's all going to be a miracle. And if you go on their Instagram page right now, they're telling you it is a miracle. Only we can see. Our wallets know.
I am seriously starting to feel like it's just about impossible to live in the United States. And, I don't want to seem like a lazy bum when I seen this, but I truly feel like it's just about impossible. If you weren't raised and given a good first hand in life or a support team who will make sure no matter what that you don't fail or, having people that you're able to fall back on, you're blessed. And if you are one of those people, I highly suggest you thank those people near you because a lot of us aren't blessed like that.
Okay, I just want to be real for a second. Why are we being priced out of groceries?
Many are taking to social media, venting their frustrations. Some say they were sold a dream that never came true. Others admit that they genuinely thought Trump would fix Biden's mess, that is inflation. But now the reality is hitting hard. America's inflation problem didn't vanish. It just changed faces and got even worse.
It can't be just me who thinks they need to go get a second, third, or fourth job to just be able to afford groceries. I have to buy groceries every 2 weeks. No matter how much I try to cut back, it's still $500-$600, and I'm drowning. It is so stressful. My kids have to eat, my bills have to be paid. Man, I just wish something would give.
3 small bags of groceries, $65. No meats, by the way. No meats. 3 small bags.
Why did it cost me $1,000 last month to feed my 4 kids? At this point, I don't even eat. I just have enough food to feed my kids. Is this the plan? Is this the goal? In what world is this okay? Pricing the American people out of being able to buy groceries for their family. I mean, what happens next? This is sick. I don't get it. What's the end goal? We starve.
If you think beef prices are high right now, just wait until the fruits and vegetables aren't making it to the grocery store, because farmers in the West Coast, California, Oregon, Washington, are reporting that 60% of their crop is remaining in the field or on the trees or on the vine. Blueberry farmers letting 60% of their crop rot, saying, hey, the raccoons and squirrels are going to have a great year, but I'm not. Cherry farmers, same thing. 60 to 70% of their crop is rotting on the trees because migrant workers who typically follow the harvest up the coast of California aren't making that trek this year, all due to immigration and immigration policies set forth by Republicans in the Trump administration. They're unwilling to take the risk of being detained by ICE, even those that are here legally, because they don't want to just disappear, and their family members that rely on them have no support. So they're staying close to home. And for Donald Trump, he says, oh, we need to fix what we're doing with immigration, and we need to support our farmers. But he really has no answer. In an interview with CNBC yesterday, he essentially said, oh, we'll fix it in the next couple weeks. But we know the next couple weeks never happens with Trump.
I shared data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics that you see in this chart that shows us that in the last 5 years, grocery prices have increased by 29%. And this is at the same time that wage growth has been stagnant and the US dollar value has declined. So this is creating an affordability crisis for Americans. There were a few commenters pointing to the most recent data saying, well, it's not as bad February to now as it was prior to that. And I shared that my actual experience in grocery shopping suggests a far higher percentage in the last 9 months than the periods prior to that. And that my cost of coffee, the coffee I always buy at Costco, has increased by north of 50%. Well, I have an update. I went shopping yesterday and the cost went up once again. Last February, this can of coffee used to cost me $11.79. As you can see, yesterday when I shopped, it is now $19.79, nearly double the cost that I was paying in February. So my 2 cents on people wanting to pick time frames to look at, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, my cost of coffee has doubled.
So here we are in 2025, and the return to greatness is starting to feel like the return to struggle. Many families are skipping meals because they can't afford groceries, They have to make a very hard decision whether to skip meals or to pay rent or to buy groceries, Every dollar feels like a sacrifice. And now many people are asking, what happened to the promise, What happened to the slogans, Make America Great Again? And now many people are realizing that those things do not help foot the bill. They don't pay the groceries. Politicians come up with many slogans, very sweet slogans during the time of campaigns. And people fell into that trap, but very few fulfill their promises after they get elected. They forget the people, and people continue back to their suffering. So this is a very big, harsh reality. Many MAGA supporters are waking up to, and maybe this is a wake-up call America needed. Many people are now complaining on social media. I've never seen the many people complaining like the way they are complaining in 2025. Everywhere, on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, where people are coming out to say that we can't afford life. We can barely afford to live, Please do something. Lower the groceries, lower the cost of living, lower the rent, which has become unaffordable, Homelessness has also risen because people cannot afford life anymore. This is a very serious problem in America right now. And that's why you see that even more Americans, they're moving out to other countries where they can feel like they're living. where they can slow down, not just work 2 or even 3 jobs and you can barely survive, People just want to live a simple life that feels like living. I've done so many videos that are talking about millions of Americans are living America right now at the moment because of the high cost of living in the USA, because of the rising political temperature in the USA, the rise of authoritarianism, the division, the fear, gun violence, America is not great again. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.